Hello. The clock is 19:12. It's Saturday, the 16th February, and we are live in this afternoon. I will spare other people to go through the same struggle I have been through, and you know, that's why my mind have circled around the same subject, but it was like a tree, you understand? And every leaf on that tree you did see, but you did not see the tree. So the study was on all the leaves, but it's all connected because it's hanging on one tree. Isn't that beautiful said? That's like really philosophy. You can definitely see the writing I have write on this video today to speak out to everybody, to give them the chance to hear the truth, to understand where they live, what society they live in, what military force there maybe is out there, who you are, what you are. Maybe then you understand all the lies, all the conspiracy. Maybe you then really believe on government disclosure. We are not going to make a war speaking out the truth, because in the end, all of us is in this together, no matter what you believe. That's just the reality. So I will have some haters, I will have some lovers, but in the end, everybody shall realize the truth, and that we all is in a way in this together. There is not some that is not included. I will say that. Some maybe have their freedom to stay as they are. Some have been taking their freedom and some choices away from them. Maybe they can never choose it again because other have taken that choice for them. Because you know how politics is. Even politic people can be lied for. And that's just the worst thing. Because if you can prove something for a politic people without telling them the whole truth, you can have a success that they are putting out new law that's affecting everybody. And that's a very big damage. Definitely, if we are talking about that everybody is in this together, then there's some people who want to include. No, sorry, they don't want to include. But they know it's a reality. Okay. About we came from somewhere else. Hmm. I on that one, I don't think it's the case. Yeah, I'm sorry. But I think we maybe have a twin outside Earth. And today it's just looking different. And I believe that our twin did look like Earth. So it was actually the same. The people behind it, or the humanoid, or what you shall call them, was in this together. You understand? A lot of study have gone on. Of course, if you're so advanced, why should you not do it then? That's why there's still some of the ancient technology and it is being rediscovered. That's why the theory about the Big Bang, because even today how politic can have a discussion about what is right and what is wrong. Maybe don't share the same opinion, and of course, that can lead to a Big Bang. Put us back to the Stone Age. That's pretty sad if you think we have reached so far like now. It is pretty sad to be put back to the Stone Age. That might have happened, not just here, but other places too, outside this earth. I cannot tell you about how it happened or what happened and where we are today, but it will make sense of the discovery I have made. If if we can count on when we go on like Google Earth or Google Mars, if we really can count on it and really believe on what we see is real, that it's not just some fiction created from our own Earth about Mars. But I have a funny discovery on Mars. There was this huge skeleton on Mars, and it looked like a dinosaur or a skeleton from a bird. That's why I say I don't know about it's fiction or it's real. But let's include that it is real. Then I will for sure say that there have been dinosaurs on Mars. Or maybe some have been picked up from Earth. Yeah, who knows? That's another theory. We are not including that one right now. So we know there have been this big, big alien dino on Earth for a long time ago, before humanity, or what? Yeah, maybe the humanity we see today. Um, Maybe there was a little bit different. Maybe not a lot. Maybe but different maybe. If you look on the blood, maybe it was the same. Or maybe in the earlier days, maybe the difference was much bigger because we come from different source and have end up to become maybe one source. When such a big animals has walked on Earth, the atmosphere must definitely have been so they can have kept on growing. Or else, maybe something different. Maybe something different that make them different. Maybe earlier man was a little bit different too. That's how we see it today. Because today they just one kind of man out of it. See, that's a little bit about our past. A past nobody will reveal for you out there. But they have this if we shall look at the past, they definitely want only one truth about the past. That's just a reality. Before uh, humanity, before in the Dino age, maybe with earlier man too, I might think that that was the case. I will actually nearly include that. That age is not included in our history. It's not included in our history. They've separated. They've separated in such a way so when you look on the past, the dinosaurs is gone. That was a time before our time. They don't include it. I cannot for sure say too that is the case, but something is pointing in that direction they are not telling us about. So we are living on Earth today. And in our times, because of that time, a lot of lies and disguise is out there because of a subject on a earth that we are living on. Yeah, try to imagine big dinosaurs have walked on Earth. They have walked here. They've been in the sea. Even if a meteor hit the Earth, it cannot have destroyed everything on Earth from that earlier time that we are living on here today. So some of it is maybe still around. Of course. And some in the whole Holy Bible is even pointing in that direction too. Because in paradise, we had a snake, and this is another version that the paradise with Adam and Eve maybe can point in that direction too, about the snake. I believe it's all about this worm snake in our days today. A lot is pointing in that direction too. So, when we walk out in our society and we are with other humanoids, because, I mean, it's not because everybody is not being, yeah, scanned, or many of us have been taking a blood example, but we don't know about there's some people out there that's maybe different in a way inside. We cannot really see that. But there's a suggestion that it is the case. And this is way back to the scripture of the Holy Bible. Something is pointing in direction about the snake in paradise. And I definitely think that there's more to it. And they've known about it everywhere. They've known about the subject without telling people about it, without listening to them, without including them. But it have been here since the first scripture of Adam and Eve. So they have known it all back to that time. That is just showing a little bit about that. Some of the oldest scripture we have on today is pointing in a direction to all back to the dinosaurs that is still around this day today. Maybe there have been a war ever since on the subject. Because something in our history is definitely showing, yeah, a little bit about that war, a little about that civil war that have gone on ever since. It's that civil war that today they try to disclosure. That's why some of you from government side will be looked at as a little green man. Maybe some of you will be called a dinosaur because they see you as extinct. And that's the subject we shall on. I have been a little bit around the area, but the area have more been like that leaf on that tree when I have spoken about it. I have talked about water. I have talked about that they have many names for it. The manipulation today is definitely that they see you as a pig. That's something that have come to Denmark, since I was young. Then they began to put it out that people are a pig because the war have entered Denmark. It's been called a rose. It's been called a frog. It's been called a squid. It's been called We can say star too. It's been called maybe royal, but it don't have to have a relation to royal people. It have even been called alien, that they have alienized people. You know, I have talked about earlier man, all back to the dinosaurs, that maybe we was different in the earlier days. So much different that we maybe was even laying eggs, just like a dinosaur. Maybe we did not have 5 fingers like we have today. Maybe that's only one kind of species that exist out there, because I'm saying to you that we all is in this together, all the way up to our days today. So now we are here today. Let's talk about today. We can reflect a little bit from my time. I can come on a subject that you maybe will agree with me that the subject have have been here in a long time and have been rediscovered maybe in our time, but have been held closed and not been disclosed. See, I know many people out there who like fighting. Like today, we have a lot of MMA, for example. We have kickboxing, Thai boxing, we have kung fu, we have mixed martial arts, and we have all kind of uh, karate, you name it, boxing. We have a lot fighting techniques and all this sport. In the movie industry, we have a man. I'm sure you know this man. His name was Bruce Lee. Actually, I think many of you out there will know him most for his knowledge about fighting and of his good acting in movies. Why does I talk about a person? I don't think I am hurting somebody now that he is not here anymore. Yeah, maybe I am a little bit. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure that the people who maybe know him and knew him, maybe they are not even uh, on the subject. But he is not the only one. I can tell you this: there's many out there who is disclosing this if you know about the subject. The last movie, the last movie of Bruce Lee, I'm sure you have seen that one. And it has something about Enter the Dragon. Because in Chinese culture, we have the subject about dragons. A snake look-alike creature in a big size. A mythologic creature that they definitely believe in over there. And see, that one is very much looking a little bit like if you have the Holy Bible. So there's definitely something about this subject. And I actually think, I'm nearly sure, because Bruce Lee did called a little dragon. But see, I'm more looking at when he died and the subject about entering the dragon. Because I think this is going on and have gone on in a long time. And we can maybe discuss today about he did. Maybe he was being killed. I'm not sure. But see, today, the people who that they say today are, they say they are infected. They say they are sick. You understand? Because their body have included something that go all the way back to our past. I have to remind people about. I think my information is true about the subject, but Bruce Lee did have some Deutsch in his blood veins. I have to remind you of that out there. If my discovery have been right, I have read that somewhere on the net. So then we are in the north now. It cannot be right that we are living in the north and we are not being told, and then they're sitting behind our back, experimenting with us or keeping us away from life, or first find it okay for us to have a life when it's away. How many of you are a fan of this person? If he is not the only one, but maybe there's many other stars that we can include. Maybe they are even winning gold or something like that. So it's a huge subject, a huge, very huge subject. And this is not being told, but in secret, they sit and say that we have a problem inside our head. And then in secret, they sit and demanding us how we shall live our life. Having a civil war against us. But see, they are misinformed. They really don't know what war they are a part of. But maybe someday they will realize that they are the same. Maybe just more or lesser. Like I said, we are all in this together. And then again, maybe not. The variation is different. Everywhere you go to Earth, it's different. Everywhere on the Earth. What they did discover in Deutschland, I'm not pretty sure, but see, they call themselves this Aryan race. Maybe the golden dragon. Maybe they did see the people have a maybe a advance, and maybe it could be seen in their body type. Maybe that was the reason why they had this war against the Jews. Because even today we can see that on the net, there's a lot about this, that Hitler was in cooperation with alien grays. But maybe it's not as we see it, alien grays, you understand, like outside from the universe, because there's this disclosure. So the only way to tell the truth is not to include, because that's even how they see it too. You know what it means when you become gray, doesn't you? That's when you are in between right and wrong. That you become gray to a higher purpose, and you have not right and wrong with you, because you become gray to the reality that you are living in, because of your knowledge to reality. See, it's a dangerous thing, because the knowledge of the truth can maybe lead us to become a monster to the better good of our future. And that's when we become gray. But of course, they see it as a real alien when they say gray. But I think they are misinformed. Even if there is such a kind of beings out there, our variation in our body types is not really seen today. And you have to understand that it have a lot to say, that the variation of our body types is not really seen. But you must admit there's a big difference if you come from the north and then to Asia or Africa. Then you can see there's a big difference still. But the shape is nearly the same. The variation is not so big just because it have different color or different eyes. But see, it have not always been like that. And you know that is the truth. The earlier time and earlier man, the variation was huge. Before Homo sapiens, yeah, we can discuss about the reality that they're telling us. So here we are today. And if a snake really grows inside of us, maybe it's all about that to enter the dragon. The snake inside of us, a combined, something that's combined in our flesh that maybe give us a huge strength if we are blessed with it. But see, the knowledge about it have been discussed for a long time. Some is including it. Some don't want to include it because maybe their past have been very bad. So they don't want to include the snake. But maybe we are, all of us, a part of it. Kind of. Some more, some lesser. All this about into the dragon, into the snake, into the worm. If it's living inside of us, if you can imagine that we have combined cells that are part of us, it's something else. It's reacting different than our own cells. I know it's a reality, and I know it's out there, and I know it have been hidden for our knowledge about it. And the only truth they want to include is not including it, and the population, there's a part of it. I've been on that subject too. If you live here or you live there, some country is including it, some is not. But if all those you like, the stars, is a part of it, then we can discuss a little bit about we shall include it. Everybody you see up to or you find beautiful, hey, I mean, it's easy to make people ugly and looking ugly, isn't it? It's easy to make people handicapped. We don't want people to be handicapped, isn't that right? We want them to have a good health and work good. Of course, it's advanced to be beautiful too. What I'm saying is just if those who is blessed or infected is coming out beautiful and strong and different in some cases, maybe some cases they are not beautiful, I don't know. Maybe it's different. Maybe there's a huge variation, but maybe in a lot of cases it's coming kind of good out because those who's passing it on, their gene have like including it. So of course, those who could not include it have maybe been dying out, you know, in the past. So it's all the good, it's all the good leaves that we have today. Maybe a better brain, better body, a lot of things that's making them better on some subjects in life. Because you understand, they say they will not stop before all the stars is the same. I think we have to worry a little bit when they're not telling us the truth about it. And just fighting us in secrets on lies, disguising it, putting us on health insurance, and they're not paying us the money for the fight against us. But they should, because there are some lying son of the bitch. Even if there's magic in this world, maybe it's related to that. Because it's working on a different level. It's combining our body in a different way than normal. I think definitely all this is related to religion. That the temper is a blessing inside of us. And when they take it away from people, we end up with a lamb, something so sweet as a lamb. But if I ask you, what do you want to be? You are a goat. Do you want to become a lamb? Yeah, because a goat, we always see it with temper, you know? In our mind, that's how we see it, even if reality is different. Now we have religious people. See, this is related to Deutschland, it's related to Rome, it's related to the Jews and Egypt. And you can even see it's related all over to China in history. Maybe it's related to everywhere on earth if you're going to dig into the subject. But it's not been teach for us. Nobody is telling us about it. But in Denmark, maybe they just make politics on Christians' ball against something that maybe have always been in Denmark. And now they are pigs. Now they are something ugly. Now they become a disease. Because they are not Bruce Lee. They are not Jesus Christ. They are not Moses. They are not all that we admire. That's what they are not. But they are all that we admire. And now they want to take it away from us. Maybe keeping us away, having a normal life, having the terms like everybody else, freedom to communicate with who we want to. And then they have this is the subject, this is their reason. Now they have demonized us, they have alienized us. But they have always been down here. Have been included in our everything, in our history. Now it's just a question about who do we want to allow being a little bit better than everybody else, maybe. So when we force the medicine inside, when we are entering the dragon inside of us, how does the tissue react if there's a medicine that can change it? That's the question. If I have an idea, if you can imagine something that is so tightened, every muscle and our body types is so tightened, so we have an advance of using our body, lesser fat. It maybe don't take as much fat in than if we did not have it. Suddenly we are taking it away, and you can try to look at the tissue. The tissue is changing. It's not so tightened anymore. And it begins to include more fat. And the tissue is getting more soft. Maybe your body is beginning to rejecting it from your body. Maybe on some cases you will see that they get pimples, or they get, from the rejecting. Maybe if when they're finished with the medicine, that you could nearly stand with somebody that it have looked like that they have cancer, because if it looked like that it have eaten half of their body, maybe. Because that's how it's looking when the body is not including it anymore, because it's the half of our body. So it's like rejecting that part away from us. Because we are like a symbiose. You understand? Like from young to old. Maybe that's the difference from being young and become old. Maybe when you're being born, you are half dragon. Maybe that's all about people when they are young. Some more, some lesser. And they demonize the young. Like they say too, that the young is on fire. You know, definitely when they come in the teenage year, that some of them is getting pimples in their face. So I believe this is a reality. And those they are fighting, they are maybe different in some way. Maybe they can affect others. Because you definitely know the tissue is changing from young to old. So maybe it's not a part of us when we're getting older. People getting a bigger stomach, the muscles, it's not so tightened anymore. You have to work out for keeping it like that. It's not the same when you're young. It's like it's just there. You have it very easy to build up your body. So maybe now you will look on everybody differently. Maybe you will look on our world differently. And now maybe you will not say gray. Maybe you will not alienize gray. Maybe you will not say about other people that they are more reptilians because you are part of that. Maybe just lesser than others. Maybe you are not so good. Your intelligent mind is maybe not uh, so advanced so you can figure it out. So today you see apes and you see reptilians. But even the apes that you include is apes is a part of the reptilians. Yeah. Sorry for people who don't know about this, but that is something that is have grown in a long time in the alien society about reptilians and apes, The ape is coming from because there's a big ape on the moon. People don't know that. So the way they see on the world, it's totally wrong. They have been lied for. There's just some there's more and some there's lesser. Some is more in this category, some is more in that category. You know how many dinosaur types there was in the earlier days. That's how it is today with man. But we are sharing a little bit the same, all of us. That's how they want it. It's easier to lie for people when they are nearly the same. So all the lies is working today too. You know, all these lies, they really need to manipulate people so they have a reason against other people, not making them understand. In the movie industry, you can definitely see that the subject is very high. I have just pronounced one person, um, one person that have maybe make a whole movie over the subject. Today, it have become like a Star Wars, of entering the cells inside of us. Now, today, we see it as a Star Wars. So there's all these lies, but they're not telling us. They don't tell shit to us. They just say we are sick, and in secret, they're fighting our ass, closing us down. What what the real reason that they are treating other people like this? Yeah, I have to think a little bit because you know how they treated the Jews under the Second War. You even knew how they treated them in Rome. So we can stand today with um, we can stand with the Jews. They always will always have killed. You see, uh, and we can stand with the people of Rome, like Italy and Deutsch and that category. So all this from Russia and Deutschland and United States and England and even Denmark and Norway and all the people who have been included on the Second War have maybe a war this day today against what there was appearing under the Second War on the subject. Maybe it's that war we see today. Now they just don't tell us about it. And today they call them pigs. There's something about that the Jews are killing the lamb. I'm not totally sure, but it could be maybe the subject. they have appeared all the way back from Rome, when they killed Jesus Christ. It have maybe ever since existed from Italy, and have maybe ever since been this war against what we see Jesus Christ, but Jesus Christ was maybe related to Moses. So there have been this war ever since on this subject. The plague that was all over Europe. This is maybe the subject. Maybe they did medicine a lot of countries under that time. Because that is a reality too. There was a war against witches. That appeared in Denmark from the royal people on Amalienborg. So this war have gone on in an eternity, and it's still going on this day today, but they are not telling us. Today they have fine vaccines, they have mental hospitals. They're not telling people about this. If people are behaving, maybe because of the subject, behaving not on how we find people shall behave, maybe they say this is the reason, and they put them on mental hospital, and then they medicine them, because they know if they lesser it, that maybe they will begin to behave differently. So a way they allow themselves to program other people, rewrite them. You understand what I mean? In some cases, maybe they are helping people, but they're really not listening to them on the mental hospital. This subject is a reality, because you understand, they even say today that there's a transformation that is entering the dragon. That is the transformation. When they say people are not going to make it, they're not going to make it. So there's a time before the transformation and a time after the transformation. They are controlling their life before the transformation, and that one I think we have to have a closer look at, because that one is full of lies over people's lives, and we have to do something about it. And this is all the way on Christians' board, and we have to do something about this subject. We have to get more rights. We have to be listened to more. They cannot just force this out. They have to tell people so they can take a decision on their own about they want to be medicined, they want first to have a life when they're transformed. Because when they're transformed, they have it not inside of them anymore, so they can be with who they like. You understand? So they are killing people's life slowly, withholding it away from them, only including some that's the same like them. Who give them the right? Who give them the right at all to sit over people like that? See, we are not talking about who say they're falling in love with each other. Huh? And when they go in and take the decision about people can talk with each other, who say they are going to fall in love with each other? Who say that at all that they shall have sex? Huh? But see, They just see it like that, oh, we cannot have that. What if? So for the first, they're spreading lies to keep this under control. Then they are prisoning people so they can force them together with some of their own. And their own is certainly not maybe from this country. No, their own is certainly people who is in this category. So fuck them and fuck their shit. You know this, if people are sick, they get sick. If they don't get sick, how can you say they are sick then? There have to happen some change on this area. We cannot have Italian people and Dutch people. No, I'm not sure about the Dutch, but we cannot have people that have Russian-Jewish relations and spreading lies in our country about this subject. We cannot have people sitting over people in 8 to 7 hours, closing down for their life, and then a new shift in 7 to 8 hours. This is against the human rights. If people don't understand that, this is a civil war against some individual people that maybe have the possibility of reaching kind of a star position because of a blessing from something they don't include. Now the world will know. So if you have like a water, try to see about you can infect yourself in your blood veins. Maybe you will get the blessing. If you want to change, or maybe you should not. It's up to you. Maybe you already have it. If you have a water somewhere on your body, maybe that one is just showing what you have inside of you, and suddenly it pop out on your skin, telling you a story about our earlier days, and you are maybe a part of it. Removing it, and it will maybe not have its effect on you, because it will be kept in chess. You understand? That's the case. That's how our body works. It's like suppressing it so it's not folding out. It's like a child that's never getting old, because it will be kept like that. It will never spring out like a flower. So when we get all these vaccines and all that, we really don't know the reason about the knowledge behind it. Maybe there's a transformation they will try to keep away from us to transform. Maybe the sickness is showing us a transformation. This is dangerous talk. So, of course, it could be the case, and of course, it can be against a sickness that can kill us. But just remind it a little bit to understand yourself, because you know your body is in a constant transformation. Just remember that. Thanks a lot.